Today we will be discussing adding and subtracting fractions. First, we'll talk about fractions with common denominators. To add or subtract two fractions with a common denominator, write the sum or difference of the numerators over the denominator. So we have a few examples with numbers. 1/5 plus 2/5 is actually the same as writing 1 plus 2 over 5, and that is equal to 3/5. The same for here with 4/7 minus 1/7. We write the numerators as a difference of numerators and keep the denominator the same. And 4 minus 1 is 3 over 7. Now with algebra, it's going to be the same way. AC plus BC is the same as A plus B over C, and AC minus BC is the same as A minus B over C. And in both of these cases, C cannot equal 0. So let's look at some more. Adding fractions. So in our next example, 2/9 plus 5/9, we add the numerators, 2 plus 5, and keep the denominator the same. 2 plus 5 simplifies to 7 over 9. For subtracting, 7/8 minus 3/8, it's the same as 7 minus 3 over 8. So here we subtract numerators, then we simplify our numerators. So 7 minus 3 is 4 over 8, and 4 over 8 simplifies to 1 over 2. Now for fractions that have different denominators, we're going to have to do something a little bit different. First, we're going to have to rewrite the fractions using the LCD, and LCD stands for least common denominator. Then we'll add or subtract the numerators, write the result over the LCD, and we'll simplify if possible. The least common denominator of two or more fractions is the least common multiple of the denominator. So in this example, 1/3 plus 3/5, we have two different denominators. So we can't add those fractions unless we have the same denominator. It's not going to work out. So in order to get the same denominator, we have to find the least common multiple of both 3 and 5. And if we write our list out, 3 has multiples of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, etc. 5 has multiples of 5, 10, 15, and so on. 15 they share, so that is their least common multiple. It's the first multiple that they both have together, and that's going to be our new denominator. So now we figure out, hey, if that's what our new denominator is, what's our new numerator? Well, that's a good question. You figure out the way to do this is to figure out what number is multiplied in order to get to 15. So 3 is multiplied by 5 to get to 15, so we're also going to multiply the top by 5. And if we multiply the top by 5 and the bottom by 5, it's the same as multiplying by 1, because 5/5 is equal to 1. And if you multiply a number by itself, it's itself. So 5/13 is going to simplify to 1/3, and it's all equal. So for 3/5, we multiplied 5 by 3 to get to 15, so we're going to multiply the numerator by 3. If we multiply both by 3, it would be 3 over 3, or it's the same as multiplying by 1, and 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 3 is 15. So now that we have the same denominator, we figured out our new numerators, and we can add like terms. So 1/3 plus 3/5 is now 5/15 plus 9/15, and we know how to do that. And we know how to do that because we just went over it. We rewrite the fraction using the LCD of 1/3 and 3/5. We figured out the least common denominator is 15. So now we rewrite both those fractions with their new fractions, and we add numerators, and we simplify. So 5 plus 9 is 14. We keep the denominator, the answer is 14 over 15. In this example, we have 3/4 plus 2/3. So we need to figure out the least common denominator. How we do that is figure out the least common multiple of 4 and 3. When we do that, we figure out that the multiple is 12. And we know that if we multiply 4 by 3 to get 12, that 3 times 3 is going to be 9. And if we multiply 3 by 4 to get 12, we're going to have to multiply the numerator by the same number, 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. Now we have 9 over 12 plus 8 over 12. Since they have the same denominator, we can go ahead and add the numerators. The numerators come out to be the sum of 9 plus 8, and that's equal to 17 over 12. Now 17 over 12, the number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom. We call this an improper fraction. We never want to leave our answer in an improper fraction unless it's all right to do that, but for our case we want to simplify and rewrite it as it's not simplifying, it's equivalent terms, but we're just rewriting it as a whole number so that we don't have a bigger number over a smaller number. And if we take 12 from 17, we're left with 5. So this 17/12 is equal to 1 5/12.